In comparison with the Australian average, you would have to say, if you wanted to look at multicultural, ethnic Australia in its purest form, what places on the Australian continent would you go to? You would go to Cabramatta, you would go to Harris Park in Sydney, and you would go to Sunshine in Melbourne's West. I think this gives Melbourne's West and Sunshine a unique character. It gives it an eclecticism, a cosmopolitanism that Melbourne of the 21st century embraces and celebrates. Melbourne of the 1950s might have eschewed the West, and I think they did. Melbourne of the 21st century embraces that global culture, if you like. What community would be changed most profoundly as a consequence? Sunshine. And this thing about demographics, reading the demographics and letting go of what you might have thought about Melbourne's West and thinking forward from 2013 to 2033, I'm looking for a place to park my money between, say, 2015 to 2025. Where are we going to see a change in value? How will this part of the Melbourne metropolitan area be viewed differently? Is it going to be Toorak, or is it going to be somewhere like Sunshine? I think Toorak's going to be pretty much Toorak for another 50 years or so. But Sunshine is going to be different, and it is business acumen to say, here is how it will be different, and here is the product that you should be pitching into the market between 2015 and 2025 or 2020 in order to meet the aspirations of the local population. Let's have a look at Brimbank in a national context. Is this significant? Should you pick up and go somewhere else? Where am I going to get this level of growth and change and opportunity? Here are the top 10 fastest growing corridors on the Australian continent. It's not just a single municipality. If you bolt municipalities together, logically, where do you find most growth? Most demand for retail sales or household formation, or new homes, house and land packages. And then Melbourne's West, if you just go directly west, Ballarat Road, you pick up Brimbank and then extend on into Melton. 7,500 people per year. It's not a bad effort. It's one of the fastest growing places on the Australian continent. 12 months ago, it's 7,000 to 8,000. Is this reliable? Is this just a one-off? Can I put my money here and be reasonably assured that that growth is going to continue into the future? Over the last 2 years, that would seem to be the case. And here's, if you look over 10 years, 6, 7, 8,000 people per year expanding the market. Whatever you do with interest rates, whatever you do with planning, whatever, 6,000, 7,000 people per year need to live somewhere. They need a loan, they need retail goods and services, household formation. Whether you're any good at competing for that is your business. But I'll put you in the space, and this space is a good space to be in if you're in property development investment. I want to have a look at something a little left field now and look at the best restaurants in Melbourne as an indication of fashionable Melbourne, if you like. And in 1999, this is the Age Good Food Guide. I write for the Australian News Limited, which is the dark side, but I have relied upon the Age Good Food Guide. And in 1999, there was one restaurant in that guide in Melbourne's West, and it was called Plume at Maribyrnong. I have no idea whether it's still there, but I reckon if you live inside the Goat's Cheese Curtain and you worked in the West, you would have been there. Here is the situation at 2014. And in fact, it's 7. And in fact, I argue that you guys, there's a line, and I think it's the latte line, the Goat's Cheese Curtain, that takes in Ascot Vale and Footscray and Yarraville and Seddon and down to Williamstown. The question is it moving west? Can you do that sort of inner city, urban, cool culture that Melbourne does so well in the east? Can you actually do it in the west? Can you do it in Brimbank? And a measure of this, I think, is in fact the Cheap Eats Guide. And it's sort of like a food culture that is evolving. So if you are sited in the cheap eats area, then in about 10 years' time you'll have the fine dining thing. And so in 1999, there are 21 cheap eats. And if you look at it by postcode density, then certainly Footscray and Moonee Ponds, and there was one out at Sunshine. I don't know what that was. I should actually have cited that. And there was also one out at Werribee. Here is the situation 14 years later. And that's my point. I actually see the Goat's Cheese curtain extending west along the railway corridor to Sunshine. I think this indicates a cultural shift in Melbourne, and an embrace, if you like, of the eclecticism, the cosmopolitan excitement of Melbourne's west.